Important that everyone knows what is happening in Texas right now, because this is literally how civil wars begin. Yesterday, the governor of Texas released a statement in which he said that as of January the 24th, he has officially declared an invasion of the southern border by illegal immigrants and has now invoked an act that will mobilize the Texas National Guard, which is the state's own military forces, in order to protect and defend itself, which put simply is a massive stance against the US federal government and Joe Biden. And don't forget that Texas was once an independent state, and there are still a lot of people who want them to become their own country again. Now, if you didn't know, the southern border has been an escalating point of contention over the last 3 years. But this whole situation blew up last week when Texas authorities placed razor wire over a part of the border that had seen a high number of illegal crossings. But then, when the federal border force troops arrived, the Texas National Guard blocked them from entering the area and accused them of trying to destroy their fortifications. The Biden administration then took this matter to the Supreme Court, which ruled that the US Border Patrol agents were allowed to clear out the razor wire. And that's where you'd think things would end, right? Absolutely not. That statement, which I showed you earlier, was then issued by Texas, saying that Biden had failed to uphold his constitutional duties, which require the US government to protect its states. And that also because of his lawless border policies, a massive 6 million illegal migrants have crossed the southern border in just 3 years, which is more than the population of 33 different states in America. Then, after the statement was released, the Texas National Guard were seen laying out even more razor wire against the government and Supreme Court's orders. And as I recorded this video, there is literally an unprecedented physical standoff between a federal and state's government. And some Democrats are even calling on Biden to seize control of the Texas National Guard, which is why I say,
Shalom Yasher Allah. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and infinite glory to Yahweh.
Need to have water.
Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and to the apostles at Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to your hopeful elect Akim that are out there laboring, that are pushing this word in truth and in sincerity. This is your brother Amar from the GMS Boise, Idaho camp, coming at you with just another update with kind of what's going on with the world, and to kind of read between the lines, because the narrative of all the people that they're talking about of the Texas versus the federal government situation is all civil war. But these people aren't understanding that obviously Esau is controlling both sides. You know, the Texans doing their thing is actually just controlled opposition. So you have to realize that they could do this in order to stop, Trump from going in. And if they use this as an excuse for Trump not to be able to enter office or have elections, that will further escalate the situation of the so-called patriots or the good old boys or those Americans that believe in the Constitution and are gonna, fight for it. They're gonna get increased as well to actually maybe even get carnal, and actually move it to the point where you have states literally trying to secede from one another, and from the United States. But as you can see, I just played the video, which is for purely entertainment purposes only. I do not own the copyright to the video, but free use act. It's on the internet, so you grab these information, take the meat, spit out the bones. We understand that, the guy did a good job of explaining what's going on, and so this situation is coming into a point where, hey, it could get hot. There could be a conflict, but there's talks that now the Border Patrol isn't even refusing the Biden administration to go and actually cut the wire physically. That's why it hasn't even been done yet. Nothing has been touched because there's not an agency that's willing to go up and say, okay, we'll do it. And so we'll see how that escalates. But, this is just another step in prophecy of Babylon being troubled by plagues. This is a form of a plague. There's many things that are happening and people just think like, oh, I got time. Oh, it's 2024, it's 2023, but now the tensions in the world are getting more escalated to a point where people are really getting worried. People are buying things that they've never had before because they really feel in the spirit, something's about to happen, which it is. There has to be a large event, to bring the new government in that Esau wants to bring, the New World Order. And the internet cables that are right there off the coast of Yemen with the other situation that's over there in the Middle East, so-called, they're talking about cutting internet, and I saw that Sri Lanka this morning had a blackout and internet outages, and that Yemen has claimed responsibility for already trying and starting to cut cables. So expect internet blackouts, EMPs, utility services disruptions in the United States because they say that they're still getting hacked. So this is just all a snowball effect of how Babylon is receiving the judgments, and us as the prophets are telling you exactly why these things are happening and what to do in the situations. But hey, we're telling you the warning because this is our main job to prophesy. This is Second Esdras 16 and 39. Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn. Sorrows shall come upon it on every side. That's every direction. There's going to be hunger problems, fuel problems, electricity problems, family problems, law and order, lack of the spread of diseases, hospital workers just abandoning their positions because they rather be with their families in these times. Police officers doing the same. They're not going to be around to serve and protect the people, keep the peace. There's going to be law and order, so they're going to have to bring the UN troops. FEMA's going to have to take over. They're going to have martial law take place. They're going to have curfews. They can arrest you on sight. There's no due process. You have no constitutional rights. Anybody that has a gun, they're going to go door to door and start snatching people up. So this is a snowball effect that is going to come from every side, and people are not going to know how to react except, do like a beast would do and react carnally and get themselves killed. And that's what's going to be the same story over and over to the point where, there's going to be 2 or 10 left, in a whole city, like scriptures say. Continuing, this is verse 40. O my people, hear my word, make you ready to the battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. And that pilgrims, that word is someone seeking righteous refuge. So you're not going to be able to just stay in your home all the time during Jacob's trouble. You're going to have to move from place to place to place. So there's certain things that it wouldn't hurt to have, like a good pair of boots, a backpack with some basic essentials, some water, dry food, maybe a water filter, means to defend yourself. Not saying that, you're going to put all your 100% faith in those items because you have them, but it would not be unwise not to have them. It wouldn't be unwise to have them because, you have to use common sense. You got kids, how are you going to get fed? These are certain things that, as a man, every man should know how to start a fire, get food, build a shelter. These are things as a human that you should know. Just because we live in this day and age doesn't mean you should stop having the so-called primal trades and skills that our ancestors used, because that's what this place is going to go back to. But ultimately, if you don't have the Lord, if you're dead anyways, because the Lord's going to provide every single thing we need. But you're going to have to pick up your feet and walk here to there. You may go a couple of days without food. So you have to have this mentality. This Jacob's trouble ain't going to be no walk in the park. Go to the gym. Take walk. Get your steps in. I know there's so many things that we have to do in this life and maintaining and finding balance of work and responsibilities. But it's something that you have to do is take care of your bodies. Because in these days, guess what? And in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. Pilgrims are always moving. It said, don't be as homesteaders. Don't stay at home. No, we're going to be moving and seeking a peaceful area because that many great miseries is coming. And I'm going to back up to 2nd Esdras 8 and 50. And then I'm going to show one more video to show you that the situations are escalating even worldwide, and what the NATO countries are warning their people. And now England and Britain is saying and calling upon, saying that they need a citizen army ready to fight. This is 2nd Esdras 8 and 50. For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. And you have to emphasize that many great miseries, not just stubbing your toe. No, it's talking about a whole family getting laid out in front of you, and then you get out and boom, another family, and then boom, a bomb goes off. It's just and then you run into the woods and a bear attacks you, and then, it's so many things. So many things. Verse 51, but understand thou for thyself and seek out the glory for such as be like thee, because we ain't got time for these people in these last days. We're out here searching for the elect, because the elect are the only people in this day and age that are going to get it. The elected souls. First and foremost, the elect, 144,000. Then also the 1/3 that are going to be the body of believers. The elect are the governing body, but we have to have a tribe. There's more than one people in just more than 144,000 people in the nation, because there's the women, the children, the elderly, the souls that the Lord chooses to have mercy on in these last days are going to be protected as well. But the 2/3 of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, they're going to die. And you can't get emotional about it. But these are the things that we're living in. These are the signs of the times that we're living in. I'm going to play this video from the Admiral Rob Bauer, Chair, NATO Military Committee. See what he has to say about the situation that's going on over there in Russia and in the NATO countries.
You need to have water, you need to have a radio on batteries, and you need to have a flashlight on batteries to make sure that you can survive the first 36 hours. Things like that. That's simple things. But it starts there. The realization that not everything is plannable.
Salakia, I was just going to say, it's not just going to be 36 hours. It's not just going to be 36 hours that you're going to have to get through. It's going to be a lot longer than that.
Realization that not everything is plannable, not everything is going to be hunky-dory in the next 20 years. I'm not saying it is going wrong tomorrow, but we have to realize it's not a given that we are in peace. And that's why we have the plans. That's why we are preparing for a conflict with Russia and the terror groups, if it comes to it, if they attack us. We're not seeking any conflict. But if they attack us, we have to be ready.
Yeah, they say they're not seeking conflict, yet they inch forward and forward to Russia's borders. They're supplying the enemies that Russia's fighting. This is all bullshit, man. But this is just another
need to have water.
Another point to show you that there are high-level people that are warning you outright and telling you to your face what is happening. As well, first and foremost, the prophets, which have spoken about all these things before any of these people even open their mouths. But Lord willing, this lesson was edifying to the elect. Stay circumspect. Shalom.